All right, today we are building the final crucial piece of your AI second brain, the filing cabinet. But here's the thing, we're gonna do it in a way that's super simple, incredibly fast, and best of all, a system that actually sticks, all based on Jake Cusack's framework. Let's dive right in.
So let's start with a bit of a bombshell. A confession straight from the source material itself. This whole filing cabinet thing, it might just be the least important part of the entire system. And you might be thinking, wait, what? But there's a really good reason for this. The goal is not to build some perfectly organized, color-coded digital library. That urge to over-organize is the exact reason most of these productivity systems completely fall apart. See, the real enemy of getting things done isn't a messy desktop. It's that feeling of just agonizing over where every little piece of information is supposed to go. That's the trap. People fail because they burn all their energy filing things away perfectly and spend almost no time on capturing and sorting, which, by the way, is where all the value is. So today, we're building a system that just completely gets rid of that friction.
And to do that, we don't need the perfect setup. We just need a good enough setup, one that works. And luckily, the source gives us 3 fantastic, dead simple options to choose from. Let's figure out which one is the right fit for you. So the decision really comes down to 3 paths. For most of you, especially if you're just starting out, Google Docs is going to be the winner. It works everywhere, and crucially, it plugs directly into AI tools like Google's notebooklm. Now, if you're all in on the Apple ecosystem, Apple Notes is even faster to set up. And of course, if you're already a Notion wizard, you can build something way more powerful. But it is not the place to start if you're new to this. So, the recommended starting point? Google Docs. The setup is almost laughably simple. You make one folder in your Google Drive, and inside it, you create just 4 documents. That's it. People, projects, ideas, and tasks. The huge advantage here, the killer feature, is that you can literally just feed the links to these documents into an AI tool like notebooklm, and boom, it has instant access to your entire filing system. Now for you Apple users, the process is even quicker. Just pop up an Apple Notes, create a new folder, add 4 notes for your categories, and pin that folder so it's always at the top. You can be completely done in like 3 minutes flat. The only real trade-off is you don't get that direct, seamless connection to tools like notebooklm. It adds one tiny extra step later, but honestly, it's still an amazing, super simple option. And finally, for the Notion Power users out there, you can set up 4 databases instead of 4 simple docs, which lets you do all sorts of advanced filtering and sorting. But, and this is a critical warning, if you don't already live and breathe Notion every single day, now is not the time to learn. Just stick with one of the simpler options. Trust me on this. So, you've picked your tool, you've got your 4 files ready to go. The absolutely brilliant part is that the actual process of filing your notes is identical for all 3 options, and it's designed around one single principle: speed over perfection. Here's how it works. You take that pre-sorted output you got from your AI assistant, you just give it a quick scan, right? Just to see if there are any obvious mistakes. Then you simply copy and paste each section into its home. The stuff for people goes in the people doc, tasks go in the tasks doc, and so on. And that is literally it. You're done. Which brings us to the most important constraint of this entire system. 5 minutes maximum. If filing your notes from your brain dump takes you any longer than 5 minutes, you are overthinking it. You are adding complexity where it doesn't belong, and you're slipping right back into the old habits that made all your previous systems fail. Now, to keep you on this simple, fast path for the long haul, there are 2 unbreakable rules. You should think of them like guardrails on a highway. They're there to keep you from driving off the road and making things complicated and overwhelming. Rule number 1 is completely non-negotiable. You have to date every single entry you make. Why? Well, because context is everything. I mean, a note about a project from yesterday, super relevant. But that exact same note from 2 years ago, it might be totally useless. The date is what tells you if your information is fresh or if it's stale. The core takeaway here is a line that's really worth remembering. Dateless entries are worthless entries. It's that simple. This little habit adds an incredible amount of value over time. And yeah, the AI sorting prompt should do this for you automatically, but it is still your job to give it a quick double check. Okay, now for rule number 2. And this one requires some real discipline, because sooner or later you will be tempted to create new categories. You'll think, oh, I need a work projects and a personal projects folder, or subfolders for your ideas. The advice on this is simple and it is absolute. Just don't. That temptation to organize more, it is a trap. And here's exactly why. Every single new category you add creates more complexity. It adds friction because now you have to stop and decide where something goes. And that leads to decision fatigue, which is the precise reason your past beautifully organized systems all died a slow death. Just stick to the four. So a question I'm sure a lot of you have right now is, okay, but what if I already use tools I really love, like a special task manager or a CRM for my clients? Great question. You don't have to throw them away. There's a brilliant concept for how to integrate them seamlessly. Your AI second brain is not supposed to be a replacement for all your other specialized tools. Instead, think of it as the single front door for every piece of information that comes into your life. Everything, every idea, every task, every note, it all comes into this one place to be captured and sorted by the AI first. Then, and only then, does it get sent to its final home. This comparison just illustrates that shift perfectly. The old way is chaos, right? You've got information coming in from your email, your notes app, a dozen other places. The new way? It's a clean, simple workflow. You capture everything in one spot, you let the AI do the heavy lifting of sorting it all out, and then you move that perfectly sorted information to your CRM, your task app, or wherever else it needs to live. Okay, we've covered the what and the why. The most important point now is to move from just learning about this to actually doing it. Don't just think about this system. Let's get it set up right now. So here are your exact steps for the challenge. First, choose your tool: Google Docs, Apple Notes, or Notion. Second, take the next 2 minutes and actually create your 4 files or pages. Third, grab the sorted output from your last brain dump and file it. And fourth, and this is key, time yourself. See if you can get it done in under 5 minutes. And that brings us to the final, powerful idea that this entire approach is really built on. What if the secret to having a truly perfect system isn't to constantly tweak it and perfect it, but simply to stop trying to perfect it and just build something that works?